Hey, what's up everyone? Alyssa Knight here. Welcome to an incredibly exciting video on Nightlight. We have been looking forward to filming this video. We are going to be doing a cinematic lighting tutorial on a narrative film set. So I'd like to introduce you to our talent today, Christopher Cinquemani, star of Dark Ops, one of the lead actors on Dark Ops and the new TV series that we are going into pre-production on. So before we do that, I want to quickly explain color checkers. This is a passport from a company called Calibrate. And so what you're gonna do is this assists in getting a more accurate white balance. And we also have a gray balance as well. So you're gonna put the gray card right in front of the camera. So in post-production in DaVinci Resolve, you can use this gray card to get an accurate white balance. And I will actually be showing you in post-production how to use the passport. There's a built-in function within DaVinci Resolve that will allow you to actually line up the colors to the passport, depending on which passport you're using, in order to get a proper balance. So this should save a lot of time off of your color balancing efforts. So there's two things that I want to talk about. So shooting against windows is something that a lot of people, especially getting into cinematography, really struggle with, especially windows that don't have any kind of curtains, any kind of blinds whatsoever. So if you can see this window over here, you'll see there's no curtains, there's no blinds, there's nothing for us to actually shape this light. Now, when dealing with ambient light coming in from a window or a glass door, you want to try and work with the light, not try and fight against it, right? So there's two things. We're going to be doing a new video on how to shoot a nighttime scene during the day and how you can actually help in achieving that look through post-production and color grading, but also on set in production. So, but today we're not going to be doing that. I'm going to be working with the light. We're coming into sunset right now, so you're dealing with a completely different Kelvin. But one thing that I want to explain, which is really important, is what do you expose for? So there's two things you can do. You can expose for the outside, and that's going into your camera and exposing for the outside so you can see the details outside the window. And then by doing that, he's going to become dark if you expose for the outside window. So I'm going to show all of you how to deal with that. Now we have a key light here. This is an Aperture 300D, so it's daylight Kelvin. Now they also have a 300X, which will do both daylight and nightlight Kelvin, so you can go through that entire range of Kelvin for night and Kelvin for day. We also have some practical lights here. Practical lights are going to be incredibly important when you are lighting a scene. It's going to be the motivator in where light is coming from. So we have just, regular, I think these are just regular light bulbs in here. We do have the aperture light bulbs as well that you can put in here and control the light bulbs and set the Kelvin in order to match either, a warmer tone or a cooler tone. So we have two practicals here. Now, the neat thing about this practical is it's actually lighting part of Chris's head. So it's providing sort of a hair light or rim light for him coming here from the side. Now, in addition, we have the key light lighting his face. So we can expose for the outside, but we're using this key light in order to light his face. Now, what happens when I turn this light off? It's a lot more moody. It's a lot darker. Now, there's nothing wrong with that if that's the story you're telling. But by turning on this key light, we can now bring a little bit more emphasis and attention to Chris. Now, we've also made sure, if you come back, Mel, we've made sure to put the camera on the shadow side of the set. You never, ever want to put a camera right underneath a light. You never want to put it on the light side of the talent's face. Right now, you can see that the left-hand side, or my left, Chris's right, is lit by this lighting. This is the shadow side. We have the camera on the shadow side of his face. You never want to put the camera on the light side. So I would never take the camera and point it here from the light side. People have done it. It just doesn't look as cinematic as doing it from the shadow side of his face. Now, there are different lighting techniques. One of the most common that you'll see, especially in Marvel movies, Batman, that sort of thing, is what's called Rembrandt lighting. Now, Rembrandt lighting is when you get sort of like this triangle right underneath Chris's eye. Now, it's not as prominent right now just because of the way we've lit the scene. Now, if I kill this practical, look at that. Now we have a much moodier look. We don't have any light coming from this practical lighting the side of his face. So now you see more of a triangle underneath his eye on the left-hand shaded part of his face. And we only have light coming from this side of your talent. Now we've just lowered the ISO on the area to 400, dropping it down by almost half. And now you can see it's a lot darker of an image. And if we wanted to, we can also bring in some additional light. All right, so now it's not as bright as before, but it's still providing some light for his face. And we're just basically accentuating the light from the sun. All right, now the other option that you can do is you can actually blast light through the window. So we've done that before on sets as well. So let's say, for example, we really want to have the sun come in through this window. We'll put like an aperture 1200 or a 600 on the outside and blast light in through the window. And then that will basically mimic the sun. If you want to replicate the color of moonlight, that's going to be around 4100 Kelvin. Now, sunlight, daylight is usually around 5000 Kelvin. So, if you wanted to replicate the sun, we would put a 600 or 1200 out there and set that Kelvin to about 5000. Now, the Kelvin for this light is actually set to around 5000 for daylight to match the sunlight. And we're not wanting to replicate the Kelvin of this lamp. I like how warm that lamp is, but again, we're gonna need some sort of motivation to explain why, this warmer tone light is gonna be coming from this direction. We could add a gobo, so we're reflecting some, we could reflect like blinds along this wall to make the wall less boring. So we do have gobos and we have different attachments for it to create different shapes along the wall, whether it's a tree. So sun coming in through a tree, we have a gobo that will look like branches as a reflection on the wall. And we can also set a lighting effect on this light to a fireplace and make it look like there's a fire right here in front of his face. Let's go ahead and actually do that.
I brought you all here today because the gears have changed, gentlemen. You feel me? No more back alley deals, no more nickel and dimes, no more small time. We're going international. Cybercrime is now, and ransomware is the future of this organization. I know you want money. I got your money. I'll have you more money than you ever dreamed possible. You want respect? Fuck respect! What I'm offering is power. Unbridled power. You want to be feared. Fear. I am the driving force behind fear. Me! So you boys are either in or you're out. And I wouldn't recommend out. We are converting to a new religion, and that religion is me.
So that's it for this episode of Nightlight. I just wanted to really quickly show how you can light a subject on a narrative film set against a window or leveraging the ambient light coming in from it, and how to actually work with the sunlight versus trying to fight against it. it can clearly help in actually lighting your subject. So Chris, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate having you on set. Thank you so much, everyone. In the next video, we will be showing you how to make a set look like it was shot during nighttime, even though it was shot in the middle of the day. We'll be doing that in production as well as in post-production, because there's things you can do in both steps. So until then, take care of yourselves and each other.